It's past time to expose the Democrats and Republicans for usurping liberty and freedom. What you are about to hear is the amalgam of passion and truth. This is the Southern Liberty Radio Show. Good evening, Liberty Defenders of the world, and welcome to this episode of Southern Liberty. I am your host, Mr. Roderick Threets, and we about to get lit tonight. We gotta talk about some things, youngin. We have to bring order back to our beloved country, because I don't know if people understand the laws of the land, understand the powers that be. But I want to send out a very strong understanding to the people that may not understand what this federalist republic has said and chosen by the states, right? The states, right? Remember, signed on, right? Article 6, Clause 2, right? Y'all know that. I know y'all know that, but the rest of you out there don't understand this, right? But let me pull from memory what's Article 6, Clause 2 is, right? And it actually says, verbatim, this Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made, or which shall be made under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land. Let me repeat that again. Shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state should be bound thereby anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary notwithstanding. So I'm tired of hearing these people, they can't do that on that kind of warrant. I mean, if you never read the INA, I suggest you read it for you opening your mouth, because what people have done is confused administrative warrants with judicial warrants. And there's a big misunderstanding there. I suggest people go read a book or two on the Constitution and the powers of the Constitution and the powers of the administrative state coming out of the executive branch when it comes to immigration. Again, I'm going to say this before I bring on my guest. If you don't like how ICE is conducting their business, you got two choices. One, you become ICE, or two, you run for office to change the laws Congress have laid out for ICE enforcement. You got two choices. You can't blab your mouth and say this, that, and the third and not create no action. Because, again, protesting is not an action. It's a noun. Now, we're going to get into this whole Minneapolis thing, and something I've called the Great Deflection. You know, we had the Great Reset, and we've had the Great Depression. What we're watching right now is the Great Deflection, and no better person. I'm excited. This homie I'm pulling up in this piece. You know what I'm saying? To discuss this with Mr. Jam and Lou, what's going on, brother? What's good? Come on through.
What's good? What's good? It's good seeing you, Roderick. Man of justice. Man, greatly
Look,
appreciate you having me on your podcast. Big shout out to the true MVPs. Everybody in the comment section, everybody showing love, support, sharing your live. To me, those are the true MVPs in regards to what we do, man. They spread our message. We just happen to be the face behind it. So greatly appreciate to all y'all. May your higher power be at your side. Let's
ain't
keep
that
it going.
ain't that the truth? Look, what I'm just gonna Minneapolis, talk to me. What you seeing? What you I say so what you hearing more than what you're seeing, what you hearing.
I'm seeing a lot of people get put in harm's way by people who say they care about them when in reality they don't. I don't I don't think nobody in their right mind that has a brain, has a heart, and has courage will be led the way these people are being led, and they're just a bunch of lost souls in my opinion. You could never I'm from that generation, Roger, where I was told you will never catch anybody in our bloodline living on our knees because we were afraid to die on our feet.
Come on now. Come on.
And it's sad to see so many people take orders and not even realizing the shit that they're supporting is like watering the very tree they're going to get hung from. And that's just the realest thing I've been told by members of my own community, members of our community. It's just nuts where we're at. But I'm here for it. Let the shindig begin. And I don't feel bad for nobody no more.
Look, I stopped feeling bad. Really, you want to be honest, a long time ago. Right? Because it's to the point with these people outside of the ICE thing. We're gonna come back to that, right? The immigration thing, right? But outside of that, right? People, right, like me and you, and I mean me and you as in being, skin brothers in color, right? They tell us that you're next, right? Those of y'all that were on Angel, well, it was your live, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Earlier?
that was my life.
All right.
Yes, sir.
In your TikTok live earlier, this lady sat right there and told me and Angel, those you don't know Angel, he's been on here before, right? That they're gonna come get us next. I'm like, what? My bloodline been here since 1803 and not near none one slave. Right? And I'm sitting here, I'm listening at these people, and I'm like, but that's the fear mongering piece, right? That's the fear mongering piece that we hear amongst the skin folk, in this regard. And it's disgusting. It is literally disgusting. You can, what I mean? You can oppose the actions they're taking, right? But you can't fearmonger based on the skin color. That part has
I
to
think at
stop.
this point, yeah, no, I'm sorry about that. I think I might
Oh,
have a
you do?
small lag that I'm not used to, but
Mm-hmm.
that's not on you. That's on me. I think the whole fear mongering thing, though, to be fair, more people are seeing through it,
Yeah.
and it's not even Trump's fault. It's not Republicans' fault. It's actually it's actually Democrats' fault. And here's the crazy part about it: it's mentally deranged individuals that are out here pushing this fear mongering tactic. And I don't know about you, but have you seen so many people in the Black Panther Party speak out now about these
Oh man,
illegal
dude,
immigrants?
the whole Newton family has spoken out. Like, nah, this Black Panther Party with that light skinned dude that's supposed to been a Pyru blood or something like that. Like, no, they're like, nah. Newton's like, nah, this ain't happening. This ain't going down like this. She straight up, what the niece of Huey Newton straight up
Mhm.
said on video, like, you you're not one of us, and you are the domestic terrorist. I'm like, oh. But again, that's the voice we needed to hear out of all of this, right? Because you had so many melanated folk that fell in line with that and were like, yeah, the Black Panthers involved. And she's like, no, that's not us. We would never stand for that. We would never stand for people coming into our neighborhoods and pushing us out. We would never stand for that. And Miss Newton, keep speaking, and you'll realize who the devils are amongst us skin folk.
The crazy thing is doing what I do. You already know I'm probably one of the most hated Latinos on social media. I
I don't doubt it.
ever since Trump came down that escalator, I never thought I'd get the amount of hate that I got, but I'm all right with it. That being said, it is a pleasure and an honor to see so many people of our community. And here's the crazy thing: there's even white people in our community. Because poverty or middle class or
Mm-hmm.
lower income, it don't discriminate.
Nope.
And I can't tell you the last time I've seen the hoods, the barrios, the ghettos be so diversified.
Right.
Now, I love
Right.
seeing, however, members of our community speak out about these illegal immigrants are taking our jobs. They're filling up our school classrooms with our kids. They're making an hour wait at the ER last 5 to 7 hours, like a full-time job. And it's good to see them wake up with that. Use our resources, wait in line longer at the
Mm-hmm.
grocery store, so on and so forth. And I'm glad people are starting to wake up to that because here's one thing I know for a fact: illegal immigrants don't give a fuck about Americans. They don't care
No.
about what it is that we deal with or what we got going on, because if they did, they wouldn't be illegal.
Right. And here's something else too, bro. Like for real, right? And this is why I call this the great deflection, or the great distraction, right? Because it's only popping off in Minneapolis. Right, watch, you ready for this, Lou? Ready for this? It's only popping off in Minneapolis because they're trying to distract you from the Somali fraud. Hmm? They done paid off these Somalis to be the new black folk. Right? I'm sorry, my melanated folk. Please do understand. Y'all done sat here and talk about reparations, and these motherfuckers is giving it to the Somalis and the Ethiopians under the banner of fraud. They done gave your reparations away. I mean, come on now. How you get here 3 years, right? You been here 3 years, and you pulling up in a $175,000 Bentley. Look, am I wrong, Lou? Like,
No, you're not, because you can go on any social media platform. You can hear a Somali himself tell, go work for me, white people. Go work for me, Americans. Go
mm-hmm,
make that money, pay your taxes so I can stay home. I don't know if I've seen the biggest slap in my face or our country's face when you have people that come here and take advantage of the American
mm-hmm,
people, then somehow magically be a victim.
mm-hmm.
No, no, and I'm all about matching energy in 2026. It's like I
Come
turned
on now.
over a new leaf. I
Come
used
on
to
now.
have this bridge, Roger, that I wanted to work with certain people. I wanted to sit here and say, listen, you have your differences, I have mine. Well, can we unify? I don't want no unification with people who don't like me, who want to use me, who want to abuse what it is that I've invested in my country while they just barely got it. I don't want to work with punk ass motherfuckers like that. Excuse my language, but I
No,
don't want to work with people like that. Because at the end of the day, I remember what my culture is. I remember what my ancestors went through.
mm-hmm.
I'm my father's fastest swimmer. What would it be looking like if I was to just sit over and bend over backwards and say, "Go ahead, have your way with me"? I'm not built like that. And the kings that raised me, that I grew up around, they're not built like that either. What happened with a lot of these Americans that say, "Govern me harder, daddy"? What
Mm.
happened to their mindset?
Money. I mean, peep game, right? I hung out with Angel after he left alive, right? And Wilson, because this our hometown. We ride chin. We in these streets. You know what I'm saying? And we were talking, and the organizers, right? Peep game. The organizers came back, right, to kind of where we were and set up on the thing. And Angel looked over and said, "Look, they writing out their paycheck, and just to show, no word of lie, homie was writing, you know what I'm saying? Detach. What you detaching after you writing, bitch? Uh, uh, what, what is it? A receipt? A receipt for what? No, that's a check, bitch. Homie detaching shit out of the book. Like, ah. I'm like, both me and Angel looked. I was like, these. Now we have visual proof. They paid, and they can't lie. They paid. And people gonna see, no, they're not paid. You're just making stuff up. We
Mm.
talked for a lady. Oh, wait, y'all was on the lie. Lady from Minnesota. What the heck? Look, I'm sorry. I don't. I'm always critical of Yankees. Always critical, right? I'm looking like you found random ass Citrus County, rural backwood, 135,000 people county, Citrus County. You found this county out of all the counties you had to drive through to get here. You found this county. You're not even off Interstate 75. You way over there, and you end up here. Nah, bitch. You really don't live here, bitch. You a snowbird? That's cool. There's some snow waiting for you back in Minnesota. But anyway, I'm not gonna pick on them people too much, because we're not here for that. But it's one of those things you gotta point out sometimes. Like, really, really, and it's the older crowd. It's the older crowd, bro. It's
Well,
the older crowd.
but here's what I've learned.
Mm-hmm.
You know how Mondami got so much support in New York City?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't come from New Yorkers from New York City. It came from people all across the country. They
Mm-hmm.
got on social media. This is why I wish that people on the right or what have you would have a little bit better message. Stick
Mm-hmm.
together. Okay. At the end of the day, it's about combating an ideology that is infiltrating our system, and people on the right need to get a whole lot better at messaging and communicating.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only way we're going to save our country. Do I think they're all good? No, I don't. I do know this for a certain though. There's only one party right now trying to do something, or as they say, the other party's like way off the rails. I get all that. I
Mm-hmm.
get it. I
Right.
completely do. But I can't take away from what President Trump is doing. The dude is out here trying to do everything he can. That being said, I wish more people on the right would support cross country or other state people that are running in regards to them to
Mm-hmm.
try to get the word out. Because I've learned, Roger, there was the time you and I met at Seed the Table.
Mm-hmm.
There's people that follow you in Texas that don't follow me.
Mm-hmm.
And there's people that don't follow you in Florida that follow me. But
Right.
when we cross, we end up introducing some of those followers that follow me that don't follow you to be able to get that message across. And
Right.
you're more about the Constitution, and I get all that. I am too. But I only see one party at the moment trying to do anything for our country, or one person if you want to even go it
Right.
further, you know?
Right. I mean, his own party pushes back on him. His and what we're seeing, right? Yeah, what we're seeing, and this is my honest observation, right? What I'm seeing, right, is these people together, all 535 of them, uniting together against this president. This is what I see, right? I mean, even down to the other day, right? Remember that what's that girl name from Minnesota? Ilhan Omar. She's like, we got to defund ICE. We got to defund ICE. But turned around, they still couldn't stop it. And I guarantee you, Senate Democrats won't stop it either. Because there's money that funds the government in there that they have to still keep funded. Right? And the Democrat voters like, yeah, we can't stop ICE, but what good are you? You're saying all this. You're saying all this. Newsflash, they're still gonna fund ICE. What are you doing? Nothing. And even if you got rid of ICE, Democrats, even if you got rid of ICE, please remember the executive has plenary authority on who can come in and out this country. All he has to do is distribute the duties to the U.S. Marshal Service, to the FBI, to HSI. Like, what are we doing? Border Patrol, what are we doing? We're going to dismantle all of that? And this is where they get these people that are anti-ICE. They don't understand the wool's over their eyeballs. And now here we are.
Well, see, Roger, I got a little pushback even from some conservatives when I made this suggestion.
Mhm.
I want all immigration to stop. Refugee, asylee, visas, whatever it is that's bringing people here. I want it all to stop.
Come
For the
on.
next 10, 15 years, we got enough Americans here that can do all these jobs these people
Mhm.
are so called coming here to do. Okay? And then we can still simultaneously get every single one of them out of our country that ain't supposed to be here,
That part.
regardless if they overstayed, came illegal, whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
I don't care. I think until we hit a hard reset, the left will not know, or those that are against what's happening right now will not know what to do, because to me, it was all about power and control,
Mhm.
congressional seats, population. That's what it was all about. A body to be included in the census. Then in turn comes out to be about more money in the end.
Mhm.
So that if you get these people out of here, you funnel or choke point a situation in the supply and demand, then you're already going to start winning. The tables start to turn
Right.
slowly, but they're turning now. They're no longer just turning in the same direction. You start going in a complete 180.
Mhm.
But I'm all for all immigration to stop. We gotta put a stop to this. We can't leave this behind for our grandchildren to try to figure out.
Right. And you're exactly right. Because I've always said that the first one of the first places we need to start, the one of the first places we need to start is the visa program, right? Because I want people to understand, right? We don't majority of your tech companies are not manned by Americans. They are manned by people, right, from the Far East. There's, people can call me xenophobic, whatever, but these are just facts. If you look at majority of the tech CEOs in this country, or CFOs or COOs, they are from the Far East. Straight up, real talk, right? And how'd they get here? Visas. They got here on visas. Most of them don't even have citizenship in this country. They came here on visas. Those jobs. Let's talk about. We don't talk about the diversity in tech, do we?
No, we don't.
We don't talk about no diversity in tech because they think that brown person that's the CEO, CFO, COO, in the C level suite represents all melanated people. And that's the biggest problem of the other team, because they say people of color. No, I'm sorry. My struggle is different than your struggle. And your struggle is different from the Puerto Ricans. You know what I'm saying? But they try to say we all have to. No, we don't. And the culprit is white supremacy. White supremacy is against all people of color. I'm sorry. Are you looking in a mirror? Because that's what it sounds like to me. You're looking in a mirror, because these same people walk around with that NIMBY mindset, right? Not my backyard, right? No, not my backyard. We saw what happened in Martha's Vineyard. Oh, we're going to pull up, drop them off. Oh, no, we got to call not the police, the National Guard. We got to call the Nat G. They pull these people out of it. Bruh.
I think when that happened, that also woke up a lot of people because it was do as I say, not as I do. It was also the way they saw it happen and unfold with the DOJ being weaponized against President Trump. So many people in the melanated community was like, wait a minute, that's happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
So if you start seeing the stripes on a zebra never change, and the stallion that was supposed to be described as a stallion now becomes a zebra, you
Mm-hmm.
can't. People cannot unsee that.
No.
They can't.
No,
And
but
and it was only a matter of time. I think this is why they're desperate as much as they are. They're
mm-hmm.
protesting as much as they are. They're breaking the law as much as they are. But
Mm-hmm.
I got a question: when is the right going to start doing that?
The thing is, and here's the thing, right? I can't answer that question. I can only go by observation. The right in general are very, very tolerant people. They're very tolerant. I think to a point where they're soft to a point, right? Like straight up. I want to see the right stand up and protest in the streets, like opposite. Don't counter protest, right? Counter protesting means nothing. You're just bringing light, right, to what the quote unquote. I hate using protest because it's not the right word, but anyway, right? They, when you counter protest something like this, you're only bringing more attention to it, right? Why not the opposite weekend? You get your people out on the corner, you get the permit, and you say what you gotta say. You do what you do, right? We're at a point in time, Lou, where we can't see we can't let them continue controlling the speech, and that's what this is. This is what they're doing. They're controlling the speech, and when conservatives or people on the right don't organize and stand up, this is what happens. They control the speech. They change what words mean, right? But again, conservatives need to be out there on their own, doing their own thing, not worried about counter protesting, right? Because that's for me personally, Lou, counter protesting, like let's say this anti-ice thing is low energy. It's low energy, right? What I would love to see is the right going out being pro ice, right? Pro CBP, up and down the street, right? And then watch what happens. Because one or two things will happen, Lou, right? One, the violent comes out, and the left comes out and be very violent, and they're caught on camera being violent and disrupting a peaceful protest. Now they have to be held accountable. Or number two, they're too scared, they stay home.
I think I agree with you to a certain degree, but this is where I think we're at. I think we're at to where we're dealing with individuals that don't care about America and want to see its downfall happen, that they don't care how they look. They don't care if they're being protested against. Like we're past this mindset of dealing with rational individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're out there protesting the way they are. It's negative 15 in Minnesota.
Right.
Why is anybody in their right mind protesting in negative 15 degree?
Come on.
That's one.
Come on.
Two, if you get anti-protesters to go up and just protest, and even if the protesters were to turn around and say something to the anti-protesters, to let's say people on the right, you're gonna have that video just like Uncle Dan, the guy who beat up on all those other
Mm-hmm.
left-leaning. Yeah, but he knocked up.
Yeah.
We're dealing with people that don't care. They want to see the downfall of our country.
And and,
These
and
people I've already spoken about taking up arms against Americans.
right. And to your point, Lou, right? I agree, right? This is why I propose don't counter protest, just have your own protest, have your own peaceful assembly on these street corners and holding up your signs pro ice, blah 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 blah. Because I think also with that too is there's a demoralization that has come upon the right and conservatives in this country because they keep every time they turn around they keep hearing all the different tropes. I'm not going to repeat them because we all know what they are. We've heard them for 5 years, Lou, right? 5 years plus. I'm not going to repeat them, right? Yeah, even libertarians, same way. They think libertarians are conservatives, completely different paradigms. But anyway, right? The thing is that the left, if they're really, let me back up. The right has to get out of this mode of demoralization and be like, you know what? I'm standing 10 toes down on this on a street corner, unashamedly, unabashedly, professing X, Y, and Z. And guess what? The folks that are protesting on the right, we're at the point in time that, we can't be scared of this, right? Right? We already know they're willing to hurt people even in isolated incidents. But what do you think they will do? What do you think they will do if there's 200 patriots standing on a street corner pro ice? You think they're going to pull up with guns and shoot? You think they're going to pull up and fight? Because I guarantee they pull up, there's gonna be 3 times more guns pointing at them than they will be pointing at you. Especially in a state like Florida, we open carry, right? So what y'all doing, right? But that's my point though, right? The right has to like just grab the gauntlet and be like, you know what? We don't have to talk to them. Let's make our presence felt and known. And then it's going to bring more people that have been demoralized as conservatives in your communities to come up and stand up or just drive by and support, like, hey, I support you, whatever. Start bringing up the morale. I think it to the point, it's a morale thing. Right.
No, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. I think where I'm at though,
Mm-hmm.
as a grunt till I die, somebody who served my country,
Mm-hmm.
2026, I'm all about matching energy. I'm about waking people up on the right to have zero zero F's to give, if you
Mm-hmm.
will.
Right.
You're I keep seeing this pattern of behavior by people on the right who are always nice and cordial, who are always respectful, who are afraid to live uncomfortable, who are afraid to stand up and fight and do the right thing. Be vocal.
Right.
You know, it was always one of those ordeals that I'll just let them be. When I used to be on the left, we always looked at the right with a party with no spine, no backbone. You can pretty much just do whatever you wanted, said whatever you wanted, and nothing would
Mm-hmm.
happen. But this party ain't that no more. And it
Mm-hmm.
could be that there's a lot of people that went from the left to the right. And if you notice on social media, it's a lot of the people that get attention who are vocal are the ones that used to be former Democrats that now support Trump.
Right.
We're not afraid to get in the mud with pigs. As a grunt till I die, I have no problem matching energy.
Right.
Your morals and pleas of emotion and fear mongering tact don't work on me
Right.
because I've been told I'm going to get deported for 10 years and I'm still here. So I like
Right.
to turn around and give a little bit of the same dish they gave me.
Oh,
And because I give
100%.
it to them,
Mm-hmm.
they get mad at me.
Yeah, they
And
get
I
mad
want more
every time.
people on the right. I want the Bills, the Williams, the Jacks, everybody. Don't be ashamed of who you are. Don't let them
Right.
try to turn around and tell you because your skin is lighter than someone else's, you ain't got a voice.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll be honest with you, MOJ, since I've been doing this, I've been getting a lot of help, and a whole lot of help has come from people that are not from my community.
Right.
It's been from
100%.
people of all walks of life
Mm-hmm.
who have the same mindset in conservative values, if you will, because most Latinos and most members in the melanated community actually come with conservative values. We
Yep.
cherish our God, our family, our country,
Right.
and I have no problem taking all that heat and rolling in the mud. But that's just me.
Right. You're exactly right. I mean, I tell some of these people all the time, Lou, that you can say you can call me whatever you want to call me, right? You ain't gonna sway me, right? I've been called everything in the book since a child, right? Even down to the point where I was chased by the Klan. Ain't nothing you can say and do to me is gonna harm me, hurt me, or demoralize me. Because at the end of the day, you showing me who you are and who I need to stay away from. Because if I get close to you and you do something stupid, I got a couple friends. One named Ruger, one named H&K. That's it. No more back talk. Smile for the camera when it flashes,
That's right.
right?
The flash may be a
Because
little bit orange, but
maybe, right? But my point being, right? Because this whole thing has brought up my militant side, a side I never really want to come out, but it's brought up my militant side over the last 6 7 months, right? Because of what I'm seeing and the things that I'm hearing, and and the stuff I'm seeing, the ungodly things I never thought I would see on American soil that I saw overseas. I'm seeing it here, and it is literally disgusting and disturbing.
I said this in my live about a month and a half ago. Well, right around Thanksgiving, that pretty soon we're going to start seeing the tactics that we as soldiers saw in Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
When these protests started happening and these ICE agents started getting attacked in LA, in Denver, in Minnesota, New York, so on, pretty soon we're going to start seeing IEDs on the side of the road. because ICE ain't out there looking for these protesters. These protesters are looking for ICE the same way ISIS and Tally look for us.
Yep. Sure
Now
did.
now this is where we're at. This is why I've been as vocal as I have been in regards to waking up people on the right about what it is that we're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty soon you're going to see the IEDs. Pretty soon you're going to see the pipe bombs. Pretty soon you're going to see all that. Do I want that? No. Am I advocating for that? No. Because those are Americans on Americans.
Right.
And that's not what I serve my country for.
Right.
But
That's
let
right.
the chips fall where they may at this point because one side is being American and the other side's being anti American.
Right. But even to your point, Lou, right? The pipe bomb thing already started January 6th, right? The pipe bombing at both the DNC and the RNC. But you also notice something before I continue? Notice you haven't heard nothing else about Brian Cole, have you? Not a single word about the pipe bomber at the DNC and RNC. That's not by coincidence, people. We know this, you know this, and everybody listening on airwaves and watching on Rumble and Instagram and YouTube and Kick and Twitch, right? Know this. But again, the pipe bombs have already happened, right? We're we are in uncharted territory because we're at the point where this is almost literally guerrilla warfare, right? I mean, people need a reference. Just go look again. Look at the Sandinistas and what they did in Panama. It's exactly this is the Bolsheviks what they did with Lenin. It's the same tactics. Even Hitler, same tactics. It's mind boggling. I look, Lou. I'm 50 years old, bro, and I thought as United Statians we had learned from history past. But apparently, that history is still not learned and still being played out in our country right now. And that church should be the last straw for most
It
Americans.
should have. But it's actually, this is where, again, I get disappointed in people on the right because the last straw should have happened when they made fun of all them kids that drowned in Kerrville.
Right.
They
Yes.
should the last straw should have happened when Charlie got taken out.
Mm-hmm.
The last straw should have happened the year before that when they tried to take out President Trump.
Mm-hmm.
The last straw should have happened when the DOJ weaponized and went after President Trump. The
Mm-hmm.
last straw should have happened in 2020 when we all know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
But it's never been the last straw.
Nope.
So this is why I get disappointed in some people on the right who says enough is enough. We're gonna do something, but then the next last straw comes. And
But
I get your feeling in
mhm,
regards to being militant.
yeah,
I
because
get it completely.
that's where it is. And the thing is, and again to your point, I had brought it before to reiterate kind of my point on top of that, right? They say when we go to organize something, right? When we go to organize something, no one seems to want to participate. And that's a big problem that we have, right? Because they would rather follow somebody with clout. And we've seen this. We've been around a long time on social media. They'd rather follow someone with clout and just jump on the bandwagon over here instead of, you know what, that person, that guy, that gal is standing up for liberty. You know what I mean? Let's go support this guy. Let's bring a friend to support this guy or this thing, the event they're throwing, right? Instead, people do these events. It's expensive, and they get 10 people that show up. Right, they get 15 people that show up. When we get all these Americans that believe in the the fabric of America, truth, liberty, and justice. They believe in it, but they won't show up for someone unless they have a name.
Well, we saw it. We
Yeah,
were a part of it.
yeah.
And here's the crazy thing. The part that would really disappoint me is when I would get, can't wait to see you. See you at the event.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't see them.
Right.
Hey man, my son had a baseball game. My son had a basketball game, had football practice. Okay,
You knew this.
then don't complain whenever your son can't play sports anymore because you lost your country.
Right.
Because it all started somewhere. It started when you didn't stand up and fight and advocate for what it was that you believed in.
Right.
And see, there's a difference between those that talk and people that do.
Right.
And I'll never be one of those persons that never talks the talk because I don't walk the walk. I will walk that motherfucker.
Hey, look, I walk into it blind. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. Especially if it comes down to liberty, like, I will walk blind into it. I mean, our founders, and the early writers of this country, right? They walked into when when they started the revolution in 1763 by revolting against the Stamp Act. They knew they were uncharted territory because at any given time of the day or night, the British could be on the shores because they did that. And they knew they went into a they went to a realm of uncertainty. What's going to happen? Where are they going to pop off at? We're going to do all this, right? Ladies and gentlemen, we're at that same point. When is the left going to say, you know what? We're going to get our mob squads together, and we're going to, if you have an American flag in your front yard, we're kicking in your front door, right? This is where we are. I don't, and I don't want people to, feel negative about it, but this is where we are. If these people are willing to blatantly jump out in the street and jump on people and fight them because they don't believe their political ideology, best believe they they will have roaming gangs that kick in your front door if you have an American flag in your front door. I wouldn't put it past them because these are the
Oh,
type of
wait,
people they're
did
with.
you see that video of the Asian guy from or Chinese guy?
Which
So
one?
there's a video of a Chinese guy who sat here and is telling people on the left that if you see a house flying an American flag, take a picture of it. Let's create a website to where we can show these houses that have American flags on it, because those are the houses we're going to need to attack first. Those are the houses that probably have the two-way stuff. Those are the houses that we need to target first because they're the ones that are going to be our biggest opponents and enemies when shit hits the fan.
That is exactly what I'm talking about, right?
Hmm. I told my mom that, and my mom said my flag ain't going anywhere, and Remington will do his job.
Ain't he? Won't he though? What Remington come in steel too? You heard? All pun intended. You know what I mean? Like these this and this is again where we are, right? This is where we're at. And yeah, granted, it's free speech, and you know what? I want them to keep talking. I want them to keep talking about what they call themselves. They think they gonna do around here, right? Because what these people are still forgetting, there's people that don't have American flags in the yard, and you run up on a soldier, right? You run up on a guy that's been on a sand pile for years. Think you about to do something. One of them take out 30 of you in one sweep, right? This is not. I don't want the left to know. This is no. You're not gonna run up in someone's house all willy nilly like, oh, we're gonna go. No, no, you ain't. No, you ain't. No, you ain't. Because look, I'm gonna flip the script. Watch this. Watch this, Lou. Y'all remember what happened the Breonna Taylor thing, right? Yeah, granted, Breonna Taylor died, but that's not where I'm going. The principal, that young man had a firearm behind that door, and so I knocked on that door and didn't say police, and that man fired. There's more people like that in this country than these people gonna run up in your front door. But go ahead, pop off if you want to. You come unannounced somewhere, you you're gonna be standing in front of the pearly gates looking for your name in the book of life, and it ain't gonna be there.
They can walk in, but they flying back out.
Mm, Lord have mercy. I'm look, all I'm saying. But again, what you gonna think is gonna happen? What is your projection? Like, what is your opinion on the projection where this is gonna go?
My projection or my opinion is we're not going to make midterms based off of what we're already seeing. If we're seeing them, one, try to take out President Trump, two, take out Charlie, three, protest against ICE the way they're doing, to me, it's all signs of desperation.
Mm-hmm.
They know they're not going to win midterms. They know that they're not going to have power for quite some time. So, what's the best way to delay that? Is to delay everything in its tracks to begin with.
Right.
This is why they're trying to defund ICE. They're trying to defund DHS. They're trying to defund everything in the name of the book. What I don't understand is why is there some Republican politicians rolling with them on that?
Mm-hmm.
So when I see that, that further lets me know they would be okay with midterms not happening because they would stay in their position.
Mm-hmm.
So to them, it's a win-win. I also look at the way everything is escalating. Nobody on the left stopped anybody from calling us basket of deplorables. Now, if you went from being called a deplorable to now a Nazi, racist, fascist, white supremacist, even me as a melanated individual
Mm-hmm.
who is anti American, the writing's on the wall that we're not going to make it. And I don't know what to do from there because the last thing I ever wanted to do was live in peace in the way I wanted it. I just wanted to live in peace with my family.
Right.
But I found peace in the combat zone. And I think we're just getting there because nothing's ever stopped and shit's only escalated.
And to your point, before I kind of give you my opinion, right? To your point, majority of my combat veterans, guys that had served on the sand pile, right? The only comfort they had, like you said, was that war zone. And when you guys came home, it was totally, completely abnormal to not hear bullets and bombs and shit blowing up, right? What the left does not understand is when you start popping off, you're giving comfort to the soldier that had PTSD, that lived on the sand pile 2-3 years a tour, and he's gonna come out with reckless abandon. He or she will come out with reckless abandon. You don't have a chance. You don't have a chance in hell because this is their comfort zone. They're used to da 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 da. Boom. That's just signals to them. They that's signals. That's duck and dodge signals. Don't play.
It's music to our ears, Roderick.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And we have more. Right, from what I understand, we have, because the active military right now, I think is 1.2 million. I think they said is active military.
Mhm, mhm.
We have half of that in veterans that are still able-bodied in this country. This is what these people don't understand. If
Not only
500,
that,
go ahead, bro.
Roderick, that's not even including the ones that are like physically disabled. Those that walk around with crutches. Those
Mm-hmm.
that are in wheelchairs. Like these individuals are good. But I even got one further.
Mm-hmm.
These conservative women that be dealing with hot flashes at a certain age,
Oh, Lord
that have
Jesus.
been pent
Ooh.
up,
Mm.
that have been pent up, living the conservative life, cooped up in a house for 30 years, in a marriage that they love and whatnot. They're ready to unleash because they've been nice and doing the right thing, raising these young citizens of society that they've done dealt with 30 years of pent up bullshit that they would also wouldn't mind having, I don't know, let's just say a free for all, a purge, if you will.
Ah, ah.
Because
No cap.
listen, Rod,
No
I'm
cap.
not lying.
I
We
know.
see some of these feral women on social media every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No cap. No freaking cap. Like, that's for real. I mean, my thing is, right, my opinion, first thing we have to do is get our like-minded people, even if we disagree on certain topics, right? I mean, because we're not supposed to be a monolith, right?
Mhm, mhm.
To come together and support each other, right? Because that's one thing the other team does well is support, even if they don't agree, they support the agenda. Now, is there brainwashing there? Yeah, but I'm just the surface principle. Folks on the right, they can't get along. It's always a bicker. It's like, yeah, I don't agree with you on your pro life stance. I don't agree with you, but you know what I mean. But I'm not going to be like, nah, you're not this and you're not that. And this is what we got into on the right. It's like, oh, you're not conservative enough. You're not Republican enough. And it's not even about that, right? We're to have our views, but we're not going to align on everything, right? But we have to get our people out of that demoralized stage, right? Start speaking a little more, right? I mean, look, I'm even down to doing a 50 state tour. I mean, if I could get the funding and do it myself, I'd do it myself and go speak at different public venues. I don't care, right? But there's again, right? Everybody needs to be in that mode to be uplifting with the message, and making sure we're promoting the joy of America. On the
Hmm.
other side of that, on the back door of that, Lou,
No,
right?
I'm with you.
Right. On the back door of that, though, right? This is something I've been contemplating for a minute, and I just need to just go ahead and put it into motion, right? Especially on TikTok, right? Our lives, right? Our lives should be think tanks. No more arguing with the other team. None of that. Not even try to, because you're not going to convince them by arguing with them or presenting a snippet of facts. But if you have a think tank on your live and y'all explore policy ideas, policy proposals, things of that nature, and people actually hear what you're saying instead of wanting to get up in the box and gab and talk over you and say you're wrong but I'm right, you'll sway more people that way. And you'll get more people that are a little bit demoralized. Oh, I can speak up because I have an idea about this type of policy,
Mhm.
right? That's where we should be because, again, right, we got midterms coming, right? 2 years after that, presidential election. Like it's right here. It's right here in front of our face, right? Just like the Heritage Foundation had Project 2025, it's a complete policy position. We, the people, can do the same thing in our individual lives and create things like this and present it to our local government, state government. We don't even have to go federal.
Right.
Local, state government introduce these policy proposals to the person running. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Talk to us. Let's hold town halls with these people, right? That's where that's where we have to be. But until then, we're pissing in the wind.
We can't stay focused long enough, Roger. Like that's the thing. People on the right can't stay focused long enough. Here's what I've learned about people on the right: jealousy, envy is a huge problem. I don't know what that was, but that
The
was crazy.
heck? The
I have no
Lord?
idea. Yeah, I don't
Little
know what that was, but
Stifler.
that was funny.
It's all good.
But this is what I've learned. People would be more invested in drama because drama brings clicks and views.
Right.
They forget about the whole movement being at the forefront of why they even started. And I've
Mm-hmm.
seen this happen play out firsthand. This is where the left actually wins,
Mm-hmm.
hands down.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless if they got drama on their side, they still head in the same direction. They don't pause,
Right.
they just keep going.
Right.
So I don't know what to do at this point. But yeah, we could do a 50 state tour. I'd help you do whatever it is need to get done. You
Yeah.
know me.
Oh
I
yeah.
put my money where my mouth is.
Right.
But I know that there'll be some people to show up. I know there will be. Because this is where we're at in this day and age. Where in 2020 it wasn't bad, but can you imagine if Hillary Clinton won in 2016, her
Mm,
presidency would have literally taken off day one exactly how Biden's did in 2021.
mm-hmm.
We would have been 9 years down the hole in Democrat leadership. We already saw what 4 years did to our country. Can you imagine what nine would do?
Nine. Yeah. 100%.
We wouldn't even have a nice right now.
No. I agree. I agree 100%. I mean, and at that point, let's just say that scenario happened, right? Let's just say they defunded ICE, and basically at the same time they'd have to defund Border Patrol, right? They would. I mean, by default, they would have to, right?
Mhm.
People have to remember, right? your border states, right? Like Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California, right? People have to understand the citizens of those states will have to take control of their border because the Constitution guarantees protection from domestic violence, right? I mean, I'm sorry. If you're having mass people coming across the border without being vetted, I'm sorry. I'm gonna that is almost the definition of domestic violence, according to the law dictionary,
Very true.
right? And people are mad because Abbott put out the concerta wire. They're mad that Abbott had the Texas troopers put out the buoys with the razors in between. You can't be mad at that. That man's got to protect his border. That is still his border too. The same thing should be happening in New Mexico. Same thing should be happening in Arizona. Same thing should be happening in California. You can't
100.
build the wall high enough. You can't. Keep going. Hmm?
But nobody wants to talk about the last administration trying to sue a governor for doing that.
Right.
Like this was the frustrating part. MOJ, when I saw these things happen at our southern border, I was disgusted in what our country was coming to. I saw so
Right.
many kids, same kids, being being brought back and forth across our southern border with different men.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how that even became acceptable and how many people on the left just turned the other cheek and thought that was okay. I don't even know what happened to a lot of these people that call themselves American that forgot what it was like to say the Pledge of Allegiance and it means something. Even if you don't like the president, even if you don't like your state governor, your senator, there was still something called an American, a proud American. Now you just don't have that. You have people really want, we will never see another September 12th, 2001 in our country
Mm-mm.
because you would see 50% of the 70 million that voted for Joe Biden celebrate that an attack like that would happen in our country.
Right.
And that's really sad. That's why I don't care. I have zero fucks to give and working with certain people. I don't want to hear it, don't want to be a part of it.
Right.
I want the sane people on the left to go talk to the insane people to reel them back into reality before they come and talk to me.
They're not even living reality. So how is that going to happen? Right. But again, it just you know what? One thing that really sticks with me, and it just again, it just kind of the conversation and then things I've always had in my head that just bounce around like marbles in there. I can shake it, you can hear the marbles kind of deal, because I have such a low IQ as they claim. I have very low IQ. Um, Here's what's interesting: these people will tell folks that look like me and you that they're going to deport us, but then turn around and want the same people that look like us to pick agriculture. I mean, if I remember correctly, what happened between 1861 and 1865? What happened? Oh, there was a war fought over people picking agriculture. Oh,
But we're not going to talk about that because it's the same old dog doing the same old trick.
hmm,
That's what it is. Same group of people advocating for that same tactic.
hmm,
But they're blaming people on the right for being the racist, for wanting the slave mental plantation. Like you can't make any of this up. This is why I've said, like, I feel like we're living in an upside down world when we talk to people on the left.
hmm.
The projection is wild.
But
And I'm
but
just glad more people on the left are waking up to that.
but you know what though? Here's the crazy. Here's the crazy thing, Lou. Right? They throw the distraction, right? The distraction of the party switched. They use that distraction No, 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 no. You can no, 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 no. You can do all the party switch you want, but the mentality still stayed with you. It's still there. You wanted people, you imported people to pick agriculture. You enslaved people that were already on this land to pick agriculture. You may have imported a couple from the West Indies to pick agriculture. Hell, you might have imported some. So I wouldn't necessarily say Mexican, but some Aztecs up in here to pick agriculture. I mean, Texas was a slavehold, was it not? You hear what I'm saying? That war with Mexico left some Mexicans in Texas, and they got enslaved. They don't talk about that part of American history, right? So I can't take these people seriously when they say party switch, but you still sitting here calling people that look like me and you coons and all these different things, what have you, and then talk about we need what are you gonna do when you deport all the immigrants? We're not gonna have no produce. Get the fuck out of here.
They kind of get mad when I point out to them that they are the ones saying who's going to pick our crops, who's going to clean our toilets, who's going to wait on our food, because their tactic is the same as it used to be, and they don't like hearing that. This is why I get the death threats. This is why I get all the hate that I get.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't look at it things through like objectively. I look at it for what it is.
Yep. Yep. This is look. This is Lou. That's why I've been calling these people literally ever since the No Kings thing. This is why I vehemently say out loud: these people are overt white supremacists, overtly wide open, and people don't recognize it for what it is. It's what it is. But they've tried to package it like, no, only it can happen on the right only. No, 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 no. Bing, bingo, right on the forehead. Bingo. You can't take that off. Bingo. Right. And as I sit here and I think about this stuff, right? I I look at it like this, Lou, and I say this out loud, right? Going back to Minneapolis, right? Watch this, Lou. You may have seen the video. The folks in the chat or in the areas maybe have not seen the videos. They follow me on TikTok, but I'm gonna say it like this, Lou. The Ku Klux Klan justified running through black churches as civil disobedience. I'm gonna say that again for the people in the back. The Ku Klux Klan justified running through churches as civil disobedience. So explain what happened in Minneapolis. Lou, you
They
got a
did the
take?
same thing. They did the same thing. Uh, this is why they get mad at me when I call them Democrat overseers.
Oh, not the Democrat overseers. Oh Lord Jesus.
They come and they try to put us in check, Roderick. You was there earlier with Angel when
Mm-hmm.
they said if you don't stop, you're gonna get deported.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that somewhat along the same lines as what the overseers used to do on the plantation? Yes, master. You better mind. You better do what you're told. You
Mm-hmm.
better get in line, toe the line. If you
Yep.
don't, you're gonna get the lashes.
Mm-hmm.
The tactic hasn't changed. It's just
Nope.
the wording.
Yep. Yep. That look. Like I tell a lot of them, right? My folk been here since 1803. Not near one of them been a slave. You know what I'm saying? In this great state of Florida, ain't now one of them been a slave. So those same people, and again, it might sound xenophobic, but I'm gonna say it the way I say it because everybody knows how I say it. How I say it. Majority of these people that out here protesting, you got no stake in this game. You was imported here. You were imported here after you're probably these people here are probably only here 3 generations deep, minus 6. You got no stake here. You come here and you wield your money around and you build all this wealth off the backs of people that you bamboozled. And then now you use your money for a control tactic. I'm sorry. Your family probably came here through Ellis Island. This is, and again, specifically those people, not the other people that I know, whatever, right? That this is not on them. because a majority of our friends that we know that family came to Ellis Island, they're the biggest patriots because their grandparents or great grandparents that came to Ellis Island were the biggest patriots of this country. Some of them went to war right after they came to Ellis Island. They registered for the service and went to war. Some of them died in the war, right? But these
Mhm.
ones that sitting out here protesting and holding up these signs anti-ICE, you got no stake here, boo boo. You 2, 3 generations deep around here. You ain't got nothing. You ain't got nothing. And you know what's crazy, Lou? Is that there's not many of the bloodlines from close to the founding still even alive.
Because it's been so diluted,
Mm-hmm.
you know? I mean, you look at it, right? Times ain't what they used to be back then,
Right.
you know? Like, look at even with my family. My
Right.
family's been in the same area 8 generations since 1608, 1612.
There you go.
We didn't cross no borders. The borders crossed us.
Right.
Look, we always had that mindset is this is our home, this is our land. We're going to be defending it regardless of whose country it belongs to. Like, this is just what it is.
Right.
But I just can't look back at everything my ancestors went through and said, y'all did all that shit for nothing.
Right.
I'm just not built that way.
Right. That's right.
But I'll be damned if I'm going to ever let a white liberal fight for me. I will never be okay and say, okay, as a melanated man, white liberal, go fight for me. We've been at the forefront of the fight for so long. Now you go do it. Because that's what these talking heads in the liberal social media are saying. These liberal melanated men, we've been at the forefront. Let them go fight for us now. Do you not do you not hear how weak you sound?
Watch this, Lou. Watch this, Lou. I'm gonna trail that point right now. Watch this, and this is gonna upset a whole lot of people. That I don't give a fuck. Right. The same heat, right, that they're getting right now. And yes, I'm gonna bring up Renee's name. Y'all clip it. Do whatever you got to do. Right. Remember, melanated people in this country dealt with this shit all the way through the 20th century. I don't care if you were indigenous, if you were Mexican, if you were black. You dealt with this shit all the way through the 20th century because white liberals put you up to it. You know what I'm saying? They put these people and manipulated them. And Renee Good, yeah, I'm gonna say it. Renee Good was the mark. She was the mark of what had been happening in melanated communities for a century. She was the mark in the proof. So guess what? Y'all get your ass on that front line and get them water cannons, get them bullets. Because a lot of melanated people on this land that try to defend and get the rights on this land went through the same shit. And y'all created the system to make that happen. And the system turned on you. So you get all the smoke, all of it. And guess what? I am not shocked. There is no no melanated people amongst all of this people because they know what time it is. They
Mhm.
know what time it is. So all you white liberals gonna get mad at me for saying that? Yeah, because y'all created the oppressive system and now it turned against you because you are defending something you shouldn't be defending. And another thing, why are females at the front line of this? Why are the females at the front of this? Oh, I know why. I ain't gonna say it. You can say it. Chat can
Because
say
they
it.
ain't got no fucking balls. I'll say it. These liberal men have no balls. They have no pride. They have no honor. They have no character. Everything they advocate for men and women's spaces while advocating for women, they have no pride in their country. That's why they want to see it overthrown and overran.
Mm-hmm.
They're okay with people coming in, infiltrating, not assimilating to our country,
Mm.
having an invasion. Like these liberal men have no, and this is what irks me.
Come on.
This is what irks me as a melanated motherfucking man. All that fucking heat and smoke that our ancestors took, for a bunch of these weak beta bitches to act the way they do. I can't believe these motherfuckers were the fastest swimmers coming out of their daddy's nuts, and they act like a bunch of bitches, MOJ. That shit would never slide in the fucking hood. That shit didn't slide in the barrio. Anytime you stood up for a fucking pedophile, guess what your ass got? You got beat the fuck up for sticking up for his ass the same way he got beat up for doing the shit he did. You earned your stripes. These weak motherfuckers nowadays, hell no. They would rather rock with that motherfucker. Man, I don't get it. I don't understand. And that distraction is exactly what it is, because what they claim you are doing is exactly what they do. I can't wait to bitch slap one of these motherfuckers. Just break glass. Just break glass so we can be at peace. Because I'm tired of this fucking ridiculous ass bullshit. Because this should have never happened in our fucking country. You know, I'm a firm believer this happened because the two-parent system had to get a fucking job. Nobody raised these fucking kids to have any fucking morals, class, or respect, no dignity, no honor in their last name. And I think that's where all this started, because you got some blue haired, green haired motherfuckers raising these kids in school thinking that this type of behavior is okay. What stupid minded motherfucker you gotta be to jump in front of a moving vehicle in front of that bumper that can take your ass out and end you? Weren't you taught as a child, look both ways before crossing the street, you stupid motherfucker? Like, see, this is the part that just makes me want to shake a motherfucker. Like, am I the only one? Am I missing something here? Jesus, man.
I ain't ducking. I ain't ducking, bro. Like, I mean, real talk though, right? Like, it. Look, bro. I don't want to hear no more crying out of them. Like, oh no, they're spraying us with pepper spray. Don't get up in people's space. See, and to your point, Lou, since we went there, I'm gonna go all the way there too, right? Look, these so-called white liberals, whatever, that you ain't never been in a hood. You've always been protected, right? The little hair on your head get touched. Mommy and daddy go get you a lawyer so you can sue people. Nah, you ain't been in it. You ain't been in it. You want to see. This is why I think why melanated people get very militant and very strong headed, right? Because some of us, I'm identifying myself. I don't care. This happened 40 some odd years ago, right? I was that kid at one point in time, hanging out on Sutel and Moncrief Road in Northside Jacksonville with a 380 on his hip at 13. I was that kid. Because I know at any given time around them parts, anybody can come up, mistake identity, and drive by. Right? Until you lived in that type of life or understand that type of life, take a whole seat. Take a whole
It,
ass seat.
it's the audacity. It's the audacity for me.
Mm-hmm.
These people have been sheltered. The
Mm-hmm.
other day I was having a live, and this lady is saying, how can you not feel bad for this 5-year-old who is in the custody of ICE? He should be with his mom. I said, how can you have the audacity to blame ICE for the father abandoning this child?
That part.
Calm down, white liberal woman, because what you don't know, what we saw here at our southern border, we saw parents that were El Salvadorian, Venezuelan, Colombian, Haitian, so on and so forth, even Mexicans, sell their kids to the cartel and let their kids be used as fucking mules for people to come across. And you want me to be mad that
Mm-hmm.
this kid is in ICE agent's custody instead of a foster home where we know some fucked up foul shit happens in foster homes too? Like, I'm not saying ICE is perfect or
Mm.
government
Oh.
detainmentship is perfect. I'm not saying, but I would take the possibility of something happening to that child being less likely in DHS custody than being in a foster home or with a mom who chose a fucking husband who decided to abandon his kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got me fucked up. And some of these people live so sheltered, like that they don't even think of that as a consideration. And I asked one of them. I asked this lady, have you ever seen a fucking little kid that is 2 years old being tossed over the fucking highest point of a fucking wall in El Paso, Texas, in Nogales, and just put on a fucking backpack as people are crossing the Rio Grande and Eagle Pass? Because I've seen that shit.
Mm-hmm. I know you have.
And these people act like it's not even a possibility because they live so fucking sheltered.
Mm-hmm.
53 people in Bexar County that were finding that 18 wheeler.
Yeah, that's another
We're fig-
one. That's
Yeah,
another 18-wheeler full of people. Wasn't the other one like 40 people like a few years ago? Something like
yep.
that. Like this is
But
go ahead, bro. Go
then
ahead,
they
bro.
don't know nothing about that.
Like
And I'm over it.
this is like they these same people talk about human rights. Oh, human rights. But is it humane to smuggle people into a country in the back of a tractor trailer, right? Where they died, right? Twice. This is two incidences we know. Is it humane to track your child from the bottom of Mexico to the top of Mexico, walking through not only the Sinaloa cartel? Look, people don't talk about the Gulf cartel. Those are probably the worst motherfuckers. Gulf cartel, they're so bad you don't see them and you don't talk about them. And most of those people are going through Gulf cartel territory. This is what people don't understand. Like places like Reynosa, right? And what's the other town south of Brownsville?
Like over by Laredo.
No, the other way towards Brownsville, down on the southern tip. Um, what's that town on the
Uh,
other side of Brownsville? But anyway, you know where I'm talking about.
yeah, yeah, like Matamoros area.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, from there to Matamoros. Yeah, exactly. Right. That's Gulf cartel. Don't you don't people go missing around there in them parts. But no, these white liberals don't care. Yeah, they looking for a better opportunity, but you're going to risk going through 3 different cartel territories, getting killed. Right, getting killed, and there's no telling how many extrajudicial killings by the cartel for people not paying up for smuggling them through their territory. We're not counting those either, are we? We can't even get. We don't even have a count on that because we don't know that people are even here.
It's just the entitlement and the shelteredness of these individuals that think they know what they're talking about is also why we're here. Because these are the same people that are at the forefront of all these protests.
Mm-hmm.
And it's ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous. I got to get off of here,
We
MOJ.
got we got to pull up because I ran over time. I got some extra time because we was in the heat of it. But I want to one thank you, brother, for pulling up and coming through as always. I want to thank everybody down there in Okeechobee, Florida, on WRMI. Everybody in Glenn County, Charlton County, Ware County, Homer County, Georgia, Davis County, Utah, Juab County, Utah, Salt Lake County, and Weber County. I appreciate y'all listening. And Mr. Lou, you're gonna let people know how to find you, how to get at you. Let them know how to get at you. Come on.
It is Jammin' Lou 21. The same as my username on here is the same as it is on all platforms. Um, I learned at an early stint when I started doing this. You can find me on Facebook, Jammin' Lou 21, Instagram, same, X, same, TikTok, same. Um, that being said, big shout out to all y'all that are always listening, sharing our message. We greatly appreciate you guys. You'll never catch me outside the fight. I'll always be in the heart of it because I'm a grunt till I die.
That's right.
Thank you,
Hey, peace
MOJ.
and love. You
Appreciate you, bro.
welcome, sir. Peace and love, everybody. Remember, people, love your neighbors, love your families, but ultimately love yourself. Peace and love, everybody.